I will be at the Memphis Comic Con this weekend. I'm not sure what they called it exactly.
I've got it here. It's the Mid-South Megacon.
Okay, I will be at the Mid South MegaCon both Saturday and Sunday. I believe it starts. It doesn't start Friday, does it?
No, it'll be Saturday and
Yeah,
Sunday there in
it's
Memphis.
Saturday and Sunday. So I'm driving up though Friday and spending the night in the hotel, and then I will be there both days. And it's kind of like whenever I go to Memphis, and I don't go there often. I mean, it's like I'm driving. It's 200 miles. It's 200 miles from Memphis to Jackson, and then it's about roughly 200 miles from here from Jackson to New Orleans. But anyway, when I go to Memphis, the I can't remember. It's been a while since I've been there, and I can't remember the name of the road. But you basically, if I get off at the exit before I get into metropolitan Memphis, and I'm not going to do that. They've got a loop around Memphis too, but I can't remember the name of the street. But if I get off on that street and take a left, I go down about half a mile or to a mile, and I'll be at Graceland.
I was gonna ask if you were gonna. I know you're a huge Elvis fan. I was gonna ask if you're gonna swing by Graceland while you're there.
I don't think that I'll have time. I tell you what, wish I could. I wonder. Talk to some of these guys that are running this con and say, look, I'm a huge Elvis fan. Do you know anybody? Do they ever give personal tours?
Ooh.
Now you can drive around it and stuff like that, but I don't know if they ever do personal tours.
I would be willing to bet just about everything, Ted, that there's some crossover fan who's like connected with the Elvis world and connected with the pro wrestling world who could probably hook you up and get you inside of Graceland.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. And of course, I don't know. It's been so long. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they may have tours. They may. It used to be, if you went there, you would, all you could do is go around back and see where. I mean, the whole family's buried right there.
Yeah.
Elvis and both his mom and his dad. I think that's it. But
I like your odds of getting in there. I think that if you ask around a little bit, you could probably find yourself, taking a shower in Elvis's old shower.
bro, I'm gonna tell you, yeah, I'm definitely a fan. But here's the other thing I think about Elvis Presley. It's like, I can remember exactly where I was when I heard that he had passed away.
Where were you?
I was in San Angelo, Texas. I had spent the night, and we were, because it was whatever, and I was hanging out poolside at the hotel when they made the announcement that he had passed, and I was just flabbergasted because I had actually seen him. Do you remember Mike Mgherk?
I do.
Okay. And I haven't talked to her for a long time. That's a funny, as everybody goes, Mike Mgherk is a her. I said, yeah, Leroy Mgherk was her dad. And he was the promoter of that particular territory. And then Bill Watts, who went to Oklahoma, came along and, he wrestled some too. And then he bought in with Leroy and then eventually bought Leroy out. But during that first couple of years that I was in the wrestling business, Mike and I hit it off. Here's a guy, Leroy is a guy, he wanted a boy so bad. He had a girl and named her Mike. Yeah.
Really, really.
I'll tell you what, this is back then. Back then, Mike I mean, yeah, you remember Farrah Fawcett?
Yeah.
I mean, she was a real popular model.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, if she wore her hair that way, could almost pass for Farrah Fawcett.
She did have a similar look. You're right.
Yeah, yeah, she did. So,
And
anyway,
Leroy Mgherk infamously wanted to kill you because you were dating his daughter.
yes, yeah, that's very true.
But you and Mike went and saw Elvis, right?
Huh?
You and Mike went and saw Elvis together, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she's the one that told me she had seen him because he used to perform in Las Vegas all the time. And so they had been out, like the NWA, all the promoters would go, their annual meeting was in Vegas. And so while she was in Vegas with her mom and dad, Elvis he always performed there. And so, she and her mom went to the concert, and I guess she got to know a few of the roadies.
Mm-hmm.
So, I probably already told you this. So we when he comes to Tulsa, and I'm trying to think of the building that he performed in because it was like on a college campus. But anyway, after the concert, Mike recognized a couple of those roadies, and she went up and talked to them and said, "Okay, this is where we're staying. We're on the top floor of the Hilton Hotel or wherever it was, and the password is." And so I'm going, "Holy shit! I'm going to go meet Elvis Presley." And don't you know that Mike and I got in the biggest fight? And I can't even remember about what. We get in this big fight and we don't go.
Now, did you guys part ways after the fight?
Well, eventually we made up.
No, I mean that night. Did you part ways? Because I'm starting to think maybe she put this fight on so maybe she could go visit the king herself.
No, brother. No, that's not the case. Anyway, I just can't believe that I blew my shot at meeting Presley, and I mean, and I've been a celebrity for a long time, and and I would probably say that, actors and whatever, but the one person who I think, Elvis Presley, in my opinion, is the most famous entertainer of all time. I mean, whether it was in acting or singing or what have you, it's kind of like, well, look, it's, he died in 1977, I think.
I believe that was the year, yeah.
And all these years later, there are still people, going on tours of his house in Memphis. He's that guy who, he's the king.
Ted, this is making me. I usually ask you a question of my own during one of our Ask Ted Anything episodes. By the way, this is our 23rd edition of it, and we've got a bunch of great fan questions. But this is making me want to come up with this question. As a huge Elvis fan, when you get to the WWF and Wayne Ferris has got an Elvis gimmick, what did you think of that? And was there a piece of you as a huge Elvis fan that was like, I could pull off an Elvis gimmick?
Nah, no. And I got, everybody got the gimmick. He was, it was he was a very poor
impersonation.
Poor impersonation of Elvis Presley because, he wore his hair that way. And yeah, there might be a very slight, but, not really any resemblance.
I don't know. You had that great head of hair. I feel like you could have pulled off a Elvis impersonator gimmick yourself, man.
Well, I don't know about that. My biological father was a professional singer,
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I couldn't carry a tune if it had handles on it.
Well,
I
I'll
mean,
be honest.
it's really it's kind of, I've got this really, everybody go, oh, your voice, your voice, your voice, this deep bass voice, but I mean, I cannot sing a lick.
I'll be honest. I don't know that Wayne Ferris could sing a lick either, but he made the gimmick work.
Well, yeah, but he didn't sing.
Well, so let's get into these fans questions. And now that
Okay,
I'm thinking of it,
okay, let's do it.
um, there's one question that involves Elvis. Let me get through and find it. So,
Oh,
this will be our Elvis episode of Ask Ted Anything. Here it is. Don C asks, like you, I've been a big Elvis fan for all of my 70 years. Don, thanks for listening. 70 years old. What are some of your favorite Elvis songs or movies?
oh my gosh. You know, his classics, Hound Dog and, um, oh my gosh, We're Caught in a Trap.
Yep.
I don't think that's the name of the song, but uh,
Because I Love You Too Much, Baby, or whatever that's
yeah,
called.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And oh gosh, I like all his songs, but it's like, but when he would do like religious songs,
Mhm.
some of those songs, that touch my heart,
He was
you
great.
know,
He was
and
great.
and he was obviously a believer.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, very much so. So
Not to mention his Christmas music. That was all great.
what's that?
His Christmas music was
Yeah, oh
fantastic.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Now, what about I'll admit, I've never seen a single Elvis movie. I'm an Elvis fan too. I've just never seen one of his movies. What movie, Ted, would you recommend I go and see?
Well, I wouldn't recommend the movie so much.
Ah, okay.
And Elvis felt the same way about I mean, my understanding is, it's like he did all, I don't know what kind of contract he signed, but he did all these movies, but they're none of them are like they they're not not any of them would be a Hollywood blow it out,
Not a big blockbuster.
here's the Academy Award. No, it was all they all involved him singing, and I don't know, they're pretty much cookie cutter, and I think that's what he felt about him too. And I don't think he liked him very much either.
I'll stick to the music then.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.